Yo,
Hello?
what is going on, guys? Mills here, bringing you some fire content on the Fire to 18 channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking with my friend Zruize.
Zruize!
You have to
What's
do your
up,
own intro.
Fire Dad?
Yeah, let's go, man.
Fire. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna be ranking the Spider-Man movies. Some of these Spider-Man movies aren't really Spider-Man movies, they just have the title.
Yeah, yeah, they're not
But
actually Spider-Man movies.
yeah, we're Spider-Man fans and we're incredibly biased. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But sometimes you guys gotta realize that my opinion is the correct one, right, Mills?
Yeah, I mean, okay, guys. So I've done this video. I made a Spider-Man list. Okay, that was cool. But now I'm gonna talk about them more because my opinion really has changed about these movies. I have rated them a little bit. I've seen them in a very different perspective, not only thanks to my friend, but because of rewatches. So yeah, without further ado, let's talk about these movies, man. Let's talk
All
about
right,
them.
all right, all right, all right. Number 8. There's 8 of them. There's 8
Yeah,
of them.
there's eight
Okay.
big ones.
We're all gonna have about 2 minutes to discuss each movie.
Okay,
Uh,
this also doesn't include Venom because Venom is complete garbage, and I don't
and
consider it Spider-Man.
yeah, it's also not a Spider-Man movie,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you haven't seen it either.
Yeah, and don't want to. Even though it is the same director of Zombieland. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. What's your number 8?
Okay, so my number 8 is easily the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
What?
it's garbage. It's complete atrocious. Come on. Ha, it's garbage. Like, seriously, what do you have to say about this? Because you clearly had a reaction.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, explain. Why
Okay.
is it your number 8?
Well, I mean, come on. The storylines are completely uncompelling. The one that's really the biggest one is the Peter's parents, and even though they weren't that big, really, in the comics, they Mark Webb wanted to really include them because uniqueness didn't really work. Wasn't at all really that great. A lot of stuff was confusing. A lot of coincidences happened throughout that movie. Like, oh, this happened with this. And by this, I mean Electro broke out of prison or something. Speaking of which, he's actually not the worst villain in this movie. I mean,
Wait,
he's not a
Electro
bad
didn't break out
villain,
of her.
but yeah, like, come on. I like Jamie
Rhino.
Foxx. I genuinely love that guy as an actor, and I think he did really good as Max Dillon. But as Electro
I
was
agree there.
really atrocious. He conveyed perfectly what Max Dillon is, but right as he got electrocuted by the electric eels, right as he became Electro, I couldn't follow. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you?
I
Yeah.
think that uh I think you were talking about Rhino escape from prison, I
Oh
think,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Rhino. That ending. That was really like. I think that was only
Terrible.
worsened by the fact that the trailer really revealed it. It was definitely
Yes.
worsened, but in
Yeah, yeah.
general, it's not a great scene by any
And I
means.
think the fact that it is the Rhino also kind of ruins it.
Yeah.
If it weren't the Rhino, that could have worked.
Yeah, I know. If they made the movie, heck, they could have easily used Rhino for the whole movie and ditched Electro. But they had to include Electro. They wanted multiple villains. They wanted that moolah. So yeah, that's
Yep.
why they had three villains. The only good thing about this movie though was the excellent chemistry Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone have. I mean, come on, I would dig to be
Yeah,
with Emma Stone, and I love both actors. Okay, I
but
think
their
they struck up very
relationship
well.
was terrible.
Yeah,
The
they actually broke up real life. They did.
the most inconsistent relationship in the Spider-Man movie, honestly.
Mm, I mean, there were problems with their romance, but the chemistry was not one of them. It was just
Yeah.
written very poorly.
Yes, I
Their
agree.
chemistry was great though.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say my number 8 now.
You go,
My
go.
number 8 is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Uh,
Oh,
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say.
I was acting. I was
I
acting.
know you. Yeah, you're an actor. Okay.
If someone says that, they don't deserve life.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
but
don't deserve
still,
life at all.
the number 8 is of course, it's the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's terrible. It's genuinely
It
terrifying
is.
to watch. It is it's equivalent to a horror movie of how terrible this movie is. It genuinely scares you as a Spider-Man
It
fan.
is. It's
Look,
scary.
Mills, you said that the Peter Parker's parents subplot
Yeah,
does
that was.
not bother you that much.
It did. Actually, no. I never said it didn't. I said it did. It does bother me. It's a
Oh,
really
I
bad
think
plot.
that's might be the worst subplot in the entire
Yeah, it
duology.
probably is.
See,
It
I
easily
said
is.
duology, not trilogy.
Yeah, it is a duology. These Amazing Spider-Man
Yeah, but like they try to tell us that only Peter Parker could be Spider-Man. That completely ruins the meaning of the character. Completely, because
Ben, yo,
the idea is anybody could have walked in there and just become Spider-Man, used it for good or bad. And Peter Parker is a great heart,
he also uses it
and
for bad in that
he was
movie
the
too. By
one.
the way, you know,
Yeah.
he cracks jokes and people literally get killed. Okay,
Yes,
it's bad
exactly.
news
He
for him.
cracks
Trust me.
jokes and people die because of it. He'd rather tell jokes than and it because Peter Parker's life changed the second he became Spider-Man or was bit by the spider. And so when you only make it possible for that to happen to Peter, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
And some more I agree with every single thing Mills said. So just put that into my opinion as well. But also I really need to talk about
yep. Go ahead. What do you got?
how inconsistent or sorry, how much of an asshole Peter Parker was in this movie.
Yeah, he was.
Like
I mean, he was douchey in the first movie, but this is another level. Okay.
yeah, like look, I mean, I guess he did kind of develop in the first movie, but listen, in this one, okay, yeah, is this what Peter Parker sounds like to you? He walks up on the stage,
Go.
makes out with Gwen, high fives the
Oh yeah, he
teacher,
made out with Gwen. That was okay. Yeah, good.
and
Go.
this is right after
I
her
know,
dying father was like,
bro.
"Oh my God, stay away from
Literally,
Gwen."
Andrew.
That
I,
ruined the whole
okay, yeah.
relationship.
Not only that, but the fact he was just so confident in doing it. He's like, oh, I got it. I got my graduation. Now I'm gonna make out with Emma Stone.
Yup.
Okay.
Yep, and yeah, it's just a mess. And how
Yeah.
that's not even the worst thing he
Yeah,
does.
that's not even the
The
worst part.
worst thing he does is showing up to Harry's house
Oh yeah, he
to
showed up
say
at Harry's
he's
house to
not
say
gonna
hello.
give him his blood.
Yeah, that's
Like,
really
no, he's a.
okay. The fact he made it
Why
so
doesn't?
straightforward is a little dumb, but then again, I don't think he would have intended or he would have foreshadowed or foreseen the fact that he was unstable. He was
Yeah, but
unstable, Harry
honestly,
Osborn.
like Harry, no, but he is Peter Parker, and Harry's like, I need your blood, please.
Okay, I'll be
Like,
honest.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
that was annoying. I used to think the Norman Osborn the curse thing was cool, but now I actually think it's just bad.
Oh, the curse thing's
It's
dumb
so
because they call it
underused. And
they
okay,
call it the Osborne curse.
as much as
And
I
the
want,
way they
yeah,
introduce Harry,
go. I mean,
but like honestly, like the
just
way they introduce Harry as like they've been best friends forever, and he's now
yeah.
the leader of Oscorp.
I mean, okay, as much as I wanted to like DeHaan's portrayal, I could see what he was trying to get at with the greatness. I think he had potential. He
Yes.
just got ruined by the fact that he's so one-dimensional. He's a very
Yeah.
one-dimensional character actually, and it's
And
such a sad
honestly,
because he's a good
like
actor.
yeah, but there's no reason for Peter Parker to say no to the blood thing.
There
He's
isn't.
gonna die anyway.
I know. He would
Like
have been
there's
best to
no
take a risk,
reason.
and he wouldn't have become Green Goblin. Number one. Number two,
Yeah.
it would have cleaned up a lot of things. I think they just wanted to stir up more conflict, and they wanted to
Oh,
build up to Gwen Stacy's death.
one thing
So
I
I
must
mean,
talk about here
yep,
is the pacing. It's awful. So
garbage.
it's kind of like Spider-Man 3. See, Spider-Man 3 is a miles better
Actually,
movie.
yeah, it is a miles better movie, Spider-Man
But
Three, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah,
the thing is, Spider-Man 3 had good pacing. They
yeah,
took it
pacing
one
was good.
villain at a time. They would stick out a villain and bring in another one so it wasn't too confusing. In this
Exactly, they
movie,
did it one at a time.
yes,
This one was all
everything is happening at the same time in
yeah.
this one.
Okay, if you guys want to
Everything.
hear
Like
this, we are not raging at Tobey Maguire. This is Andrew Garfield raging at. Trust me.
yes, yes, yeah.
I would tell you that.
Everything is happening at the same time in this movie, honestly. Like, come on. Like, at least Sam Raimi separated the plots and the villains and made them more interesting. He gave them more character
Yeah,
depth
Raimi's a
and
good
all
director.
that. They were more sympathetic.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a much better director than Mark Webb.
Raimi,
Mark
yeah.
Webb did an
Even
amazing
though,
job on
okay, I'll be honest, Mark Webb has
that one
made
movie.
500, yeah, 500 Days of Summer. That's an iconic, that's a classic movie, okay?
Yep,
I,
9 out of 10 kids.
and I've also seen his other movie of Chris Evans that was actually kind of solid, but Amazing Spider-Man movies were not for him, okay? He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
definitely a sucky director in those.
And
Amazing
actually,
Spider-Man 3 were not. I'll just admit it.
in these Spider-Man rankings I watch, they never give their rating at the end of it. So number 8's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It gets a 2 out of 10.
Yeah,
You?
1.5 out of 5 stars for me, man. That's how I
That's
rate him.
about a 3, right?
Yeah,
3 out
about
of
a 3,
10.
or yeah, 3 out of 10, about
Okay, let's do out of 10. All right. What's your number 7? We're moving on to number 7.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, number 7, guys. That after talking a lot about Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm gonna probably have to say I used to think Spider-Man 3, but now I'm gonna actually say Far From Home on this one. I'm sorry.
Hey!
Far From Home is number 6 out of 10, 3 stars. Here's what I thought. It tried. It tried to do something new. It tried to be slightly ambitious in terms of the fact that we're going away from New York City, and I was like, oh, cool, good potential for Peter to swing on new things and have some cool action. I didn't really get that. What do you think? Go. That's sort of how I described Far From Home.
That's it. That's your review.
I mean, there's more to it. Okay.
I mean, I'll go if you want me to.
Okay. I mean, I like Mysterio as a villain. I like Jake Gyllenhaal's portrayal, and I genuinely love Jake Gyllenhaal. But putting his
Oh, you
love
really
for
love
his,
Jake
yeah,
Gyllenhaal.
putting my love for Gyllenhaal as an actor aside, I think Mysterio was like he was developed, but I think he didn't have enough justification to be a good enough villain. Like it was like he was a bone, and they forgot to add most of the meat to the bones to create this
Yep.
character. That's what I
Yes,
think
yes.
was bad. Because yeah, he says how Stark constantly did these things to him, and he constantly was Stark sort of hated Mysterio, and it never really showed that. I think they could have used a few flashback scenes for that, and it would have been
Yes.
really, really emotional. And I think it was
Yeah,
more because
but
they didn't want Robert Downey Jr. in it, and because he died in Endgame. But come on, I think they could have at least
and
used Mysterio.
also they probably would have been able to get away with using dumb CGI to make him look younger.
I know
Like,
they
so it wouldn't
easily could
look
have gotten
dumb.
away with that.
Like, they wouldn't have to do that because Tony Stark would still be alive in his like later years, and
Mm-hmm.
Gyllenhaal, he wouldn't be that much younger. Could he have been? No.
Yeah, I mean, no, Gyllenhaal's the twin of Tobey Maguire, guys. No.
No, he used to be the
Yeah,
twin of Tobey
used to.
Maguire.
Okay, Brokeback Mountain is the only time where I'll say he looked like Toby, but that's really it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, for me, okay, I'll go now. All right.
Okay, yeah, let's just get off the fixation
Okay.
with the
For
twins.
me, Spider-Man Far From Home fails in so many ways to be a good Spider-Man movie. It First of all, what's so good about the Raimi movies is how relatable the main protagonist is. In this movie, no one can relate to Iron Man giving Peter
Yeah,
Parker
I
billion-dollar
I
technology.
found that not to be Spider-Man. Okay, I actually admired Homecoming for the way it at least tried to do a few things different to Spider-Man, but it wasn't enough to actually kill the character. Far From Home took it to a way different level. Like, okay,
Yep.
he's gonna be the next Iron Man. No,
Exactly.
that's
That's the
not
biggest problem.
Peter Parker. That is not him. That is not something
Yeah,
I want.
and
That is not something
one of
I
the
want.
worst parts is how, look, Spider-Man, like, he's supposed to be a responsible person.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what Uncle Ben means. But because there is no Uncle
Yeah, there
Ben,
is no Uncle Ben.
he
No
can't
Spider-Man
learn
Uncle
that.
Ben.
He can't learn that. And
Mhm.
Iron Man is Uncle Ben in these movies.
Yeah,
And the
he's
biggest
supposed to be the
problem,
Uncle Ben role, and of course he's not Uncle Ben. Yeah,
yeah,
not
but
Uncle Ben.
well, I mean, they show he's existed with initials on a suitcase, but at the end of the movie, they're just like, "Where are your suitcases?" Oh, right, they got blown up.
Oh
Like, come
yeah.
on,
Bull.
like that's so
Okay.
disrespectful. And Tom Holland makes absolutely no effort to improve as a human being throughout the entire movie. Like, he wants to hang out with a girl who all of a sudden he likes. Just all of a sudden
Okay.
he
Yeah.
likes her
Yeah.
now.
That I agree. The romance was bad. Like that came out of nowhere. Okay, maybe they hinted at it at the end of Homecoming, but
No, but there
why?
wasn't a hint. It
Why?
seemed like it did seem like she liked him.
Okay. Yeah.
Tom Holland was so
That.
focused on Liz.
Yeah. He was focused on Liz, but then Liz left, and of course he had to turn his fixation
Like,
to Michelle Jones without any reason or purpose.
yeah.
Okay,
And
Michelle Jones
I'm
discussed liking Peter. Okay, I'm fine with
like
that.
I'm gonna
I can
turn
understand that.
back to the Raimi movies
Yeah,
and talk
let's
about
talk
like
about
how,
that for a minute. Let's talk about how good
yeah,
that
like
was.
in
Your
Spider-Man
opinion on those
1,
movies. Yep.
there was so much depth to their character, to their relationship.
There was
They
a
live
lot.
next to each other for their whole lives.
Yep.
Peter always loved
They
her.
yeah, they constantly
No one,
discuss
yeah,
MJ too. It talks about MJ's
yeah,
relationships, like Flash. Okay, MJ only wanted, or Flash only wanted MJ because he wanted a cool girlfriend who was hot. Harry only wanted
yeah.
MJ to impress his father. Now
Hmm.
Peter genuinely loved MJ. He actually wanted to
Yep.
be with her. That is what
No
made that
one,
relationship filled with depth. That was a big thing.
yeah, no one wanted MJ for the woman or lady that she was. They just
Exactly.
wanted her because of her looks, it seemed like. And
Yeah,
it was like, it
exactly.
was
They
kind of like,
brought Zendaya in for looks, and
yeah.
I can't
And
fault
they
Zendaya, but come on.
And Sam Raimi completely nails this relationship when with their first conversation in the background where she's like, "Oh, I want to act,"
Yeah,
and like you could tell nervous she is because
yeah,
no
exactly.
one really believes in her.
And I remember she,
Yeah, and you
yeah,
could
even
see
in like the
Toby
scenes,
Maguire.
yeah, even in the human scenes when, even in that cheesy cheeseburger sing, no pun intended,
Yeah,
she's
like
even talking about how, oh, I failed my audition, but Peter's like, keep going, you can do it, and you know,
exactly.
that is
He's the
one of those
only
things that
one.
made those movies great.
He's the only one who believes in her. It's a great relationship development.
Okay, and
In
that's
Far From Home, in the beginning of the movie, first scene, he's just like, "Okay, I'm gonna ask out MJ because I like her now.
yeah,
Blah
I'm
blah
gonna
blah.
ask her
Here's my
out.
plan."
And then he has to deal with this complication with this guy who obviously sees him in an awkward situation. But this guy who likes Michelle Jones,
Oh,
he is
that is a
so
horrible
toxic.
character.
He's so toxic. I just
Yes,
was
in
not
the
a fan.
movie,
Like,
honestly, the comedy in this movie is so annoying too.
yeah, okay. Exception of Jacob Batalon's Ned Leeds, who I actually thought was funny and he stole most of the scenes in that movie and he had good chemistry with Peter. Everything else in that
Yeah,
movie in terms of humor failed. Okay, everything else.
to me, the funniest character in the movie was the teacher.
Teacher was funny.
Yeah, the teacher was funny. He's like my wife, like Bliff,
And
Bliff.
he's constantly
But
saying,
like, yeah,
"Go,
it does.
go here now."
Yeah, and you know, like how right after they have that conversation that he can't be Tony Stark,
Mm.
then he goes right to using Tony Stark's technology to make another billion
Yeah,
dollar
I
suit.
know.
Like it doesn't work. It's so reliant
Also,
on
Mysterio giving
Iron Man.
Mysterio the glasses was also really bad too.
Yeah, it changes the
No,
plot with the blink of an eye.
no.
And I feel like just it doesn't work. It disrespects Uncle Ben. It disrespects the character of Spider-Man with his responsibilities and growing. His suit is
It
completely
also
overpowered.
disrespects Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, and he's
too
just
much.
so irresponsible.
Yeah,
And it's there's and there's no relationship. It's not human as the Raimi movies or even first
I can
Amazing
understand
Spider-Man.
why it's not human because they are MCU movies. I think most
Yeah,
people nowadays are gonna have the intention that it won't be human, and I think
but
some
that's
people
what's
are
so good.
expecting that. But I think that from the fact that Spider-Man was always a human character, that's what sort of triggers me and Zruize as Raimi fans because of that.
Uh-huh. But yeah, look, Mysterio, he's a fine villain. His motives are a
Okay.
bit off, but he was a cool villain. I'll say that. CGI was pretty good.
And there's a
It was
great
a fun
illusion
movie.
scene. There's a really good illusion scene actually that's
Yeah,
really fun to
yeah.
watch.
Like,
Really
look,
good.
it is a fine like as a normal movie, it's a pretty good movie. Like, it's
Yeah,
not a bad movie.
yeah, okay.
As a
I don't think it's bad. I just think
yeah,
it's
where
fun.
it falls short is on this character of
Okay,
Spider-Man. You know what
I
I mean?
rate. Yeah, I think this is a 6 out of 10. It's solid, not good, not great, just solid.
5 out of 10.
Yeah,
5 out of 10.
there's a lot more to enjoy about it though.
Yeah, and it is a fun movie. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, very fun.
Number 6. What's your number 6?
Ooh, this is tight. It's between the Amazing
Don't
Spider-Man
spoil it.
or
Don't
Spider-Man.
spoil it.
Okay, actually, I'm not gonna finish that. I'm gonna go
Well,
and
what is it?
say. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Amazing Spider-Man, man. I don't know,
Okay.
either that or Homecoming, but I'm gonna go with the Amazing Spider-Man on this one.
Hmm.
That's number 6 for me.
Well,
That's the only. That's now we're actually gonna go into good movies, good Spider-Man movies, and I'd say
no, no,
actually
no,
okay.
nope, nope.
Okay, I rate it a 3.5. Okay, I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, 6.5 out of 10, maybe a little more, but like I said, I really like to give a little more respect to it because I think it
Uh-huh.
actually it's way too hated compared to
Hmm.
Far From Home and the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's extremely extremely hated and for bad reasons. Like the writing is much more logical. The acting is good at best, but the character
Yeah.
writing, exception of Gwen Stacy and even Aunt May, I'd just say it just sucked. The characterization was bad, and Kirk Connors, aka the Lizard, was not a good villain. He had motives that were not exactly clear. He was the only really thing I could say about
Yeah.
the villain is that he just is a lizard who wants to make other people lizards. There's not
Yeah,
really much
that's
more
dumb.
to it. They try to give a relationship between Connors and Peter, doesn't exactly work,
Yeah.
and they didn't really explain it. Slash,
Doesn't
even
work.
yeah, it didn't even develop it. Although I must say the chemistry between Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield once again, this is actually great. It's probably the best part of the movie.
Yes,
Acting is
it
pretty
is.
good. Uncle Ben was like, okay, no one was gonna
No,
love
Uncle
Vigo
Ben was
Mortensen,
okay.
so I'm not even mad
Yeah, and I why did they have to rewrite the "with great power comes great
Yeah,
responsibility" quote?
I just think
He
it's
made it like
yeah,
a whole like a 60-second lecture or something.
yeah, no, and not only that, like the way he died, I just feel like they sapped so much emotion out of that scene. There was no emotion, I think, really
Yeah,
when
because
he died.
he didn't have to
It was
die.
so I mean, it was so unsatisfying the way he died.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
I know it's
there's no reason he needs to go
chocolate milk.
grab that gun.
I know, and the fact is like, oh, I want this chocolate milk, but I'm only 2 cents short, and I'm like, God,
Well, that dude was an asshole, and
I
I
know.
appreciated that.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I can appreciate it kind of, but I think just the way he died felt so anticlimactic, and just no, there's no emotion really to it,
Yeah.
and I think that's more or less because of the way they wrote Uncle Ben. Even though Martin Sheen was a fine actor for the role, like no, just yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, okay. Well,
And Flash
with
Thompson is
me
actually better in this movie, by the way. He's much better.
now it's my turn, I guess. So, yeah,
You explain
for
yours.
me,
I've already said
the
this.
Amazing Spider-Man 1 actually. Amazing Spider-Man 1.
What do
It's
you think?
look, is it better than Far From Home?
Way
Like,
better.
would I
Yes.
even call it that? I don't know. Look, I'm putting
I give it
it
way better.
ahead of Far From Home, but I think it's very debatable which one's better. Because I really don't like either of these movies, to be quite honest. Look, I respect the Amazing Spider-Man 1 for because Spider-Man was pretty good once he would stop being an
I
asshole,
know.
just
Yeah.
harassing cops
I
and
can respect it for
villains.
the fact that it probably had the best chemistry out of all the movies. I maybe say that
Romantically,
one.
probably.
Yeah, romance was easily the best aspect of these movies. Okay, that
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. But I'm gonna say my problems with this movie. Number one, Peter Parker. He doesn't feel like Peter Parker. He's riding a skateboard.
On the skateboard. Yeah.
Girls at ease about
Oh yeah, the girls talking
photography.
about
Yeah, he's not
do you
even
guys want
getting
to take a
bullied
photo with
really.
me? Do a photo
Yeah,
shoot, and that was like, oh,
exactly. And he's taking pictures
he's getting
of
offered.
Gwen stalking her that way.
Oh
He's
yeah, he has that on the screensaver.
s-
He also takes.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's saving bullies. He's just too
He
confident.
didn't really
And like
save
this
that bully. He got bullied
yeah,
himself. He just
well, no,
stood up
he
and like,
got punched. That's he wasn't getting. There's no way anyone with the face of Andrew Garfield can be bullied. Oh, I
exactly. Andrew
burped. Shit.
Garfield is just okay. He's a good actor. I just think, yeah, he just didn't have enough to work with as Peter Parker.
With Peter Parker, yeah, it's
They
just
tried to
not
make
great.
him look nerdy. It didn't work. His It's not about
Yeah.
his forehead. It's more his physique. It's just like it wasn't Toby's
Yeah, but
physique.
when he laughs at the guy who gets kicked out, that just proves how much of an asshole he is.
Yeah, he
Secondly,
definitely is.
Spider-Man is an asshole. Yeah, he's just harassing police,
Yeah,
harassing
and he's
villains.
doing yeah exactly like when he's with that guy who's trying to rob that car, he's just
Yeah.
joking. He's trying to do Deadpool. It's too much Deadpool
Yeah.
for me,
And
and that
yeah.
even looks like Deadpool, which is amazing. But still,
Also, the villain sucks. The villain's terrible.
yep,
Lizard,
yep.
wanting to turn people into lizards. It's just awful.
Subplots
Um,
also go nowhere in this movie. Let's not forget
yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So much
This is where we
subplot going
started
on.
with Peter Parker's parents. They're literally characters that will be thrown out of the movie at ease. 1 second.
Yeah, they're yeah he's turning on, but mostly this is what I think personally. It's just yeah they're thrown in there. They're never really given much. They really continue
Yeah.
that story in the second movie, but even then that's only done for like the
Oh, it was
back
worse in
part
the
of it.
second
They
movie.
only built it up here, and it wasn't built up very well.
Yeah,
Also, the
and
fact
to
that
me,
they left that
I
up to
think
Women,
Peter
they never
Parker's
solved that.
to me Peter Parker's parents just don't matter in a Spider-Man
They
movie.
don't.
But
They
yeah,
never
I mean,
needed
this
his parents.
movie
Okay, it was only
has a
Toby
lot
and
of
Tom.
yeah, but this movie just has a lot of issues with Spider-Man, and it's just not a great movie if you ask me. So I'd just give it a 5 out of 10.
I mean, yeah, I give it a little more respect because it is definitely hated more. So I'm gonna give it a 7 in this case because yeah, I think people
All
hate it
right,
way too much.
all
It's
right,
good,
number
but not great.
five.
Okay,
All right,
this
number
one might be
five.
more obvious based on what I said earlier. It's Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like, yeah, okay, it's Homecoming for me. Largely because they actually cast someone who is young. Okay, that was cool.
Mhm.
They actually went for a guy who's near Peter's age, unlike Toby, who was 26, who looked boyish, but age. Garfield was too old, and so I didn't mind. I was a fan of Tom Holland's casting, and when he was in the movie, he shined. His character, not so much. I mean, Peter Parker, he was trying to ask out Liz, and he eventually does with little confidence. He has a friend already. Like he's basically Ned Leeds. He's like the Harry Osborn of these movies. And
Okay.
he even discovers the identity right away, Ned Leeds, and that's a thing that's been going on with even Far From Home. Like, yeah, his identity was discovered so quickly by like villains and close ones, and even in Homecoming, they had Ned Leeds discover it maybe first 30 minutes in the movie, 45, and it was just like it definitely strayed a little far away from Spider-Man, but not enough to make me hate it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad though also for the characters in this movie. No, I mean just because of the way they were written. Like Aunt May, I like Marisa Tomei. I didn't really like Aunt May. She was underused. Honestly,
She's so hot.
also yeah, from the get go, she's already a very hot Aunt May. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, okay, that wasn't her in the comics. Okay, that was never her. She was never hot. She always was very stern. She
I
was
mean,
so
that's the only
determined.
change I
She was always
appreciate.
honest, and I mean, yeah, I appreciate it because she's hot, but like, come on.
Yeah.
As much as I
Well,
like Marissa Tomei, she was very underused here. And
mm.
then okay, here's another thing. Liz Allen as a subplot and both a character, that was only a plot device. It was a really bad plot device.
That worked.
It
Worked for
worked.
me.
It didn't work for me. It just didn't. The twist did.
Having
There was a really good
Tunes
twist.
Tooms as
But yeah, the Tombs thing
oh,
was
that was a
good,
great.
but I just didn't. Yeah, okay. Speaking of which, the villain is really good in this movie. He's really
Yes,
sympathetic.
villain's amazing.
He has great motives. He really actually is a really well thought out character in this one, and and the twist that involves him is really good. It also involves Liz as well, but it's a really good twist. I just think the subplot of romance between Liz and Peter was pretty
Oh,
bad. The
that wasn't
it
great.
was
That wasn't great.
like I said, it was a plot device, but I really admired the twist. I really admired like sort of the way her family like is because it's
But I
really
feel like the MCU isn't great at like developing
yeah,
relationships.
MCU never really nailed that aspect well. Except for Guardians of
Yeah.
the Galaxy, I will give an exception to that because
Yeah, that
that
was
was
fine.
excellent. That was really really
And
excellent
Captain
movie.
America 1 was fine, or
Yeah, Captain
whichever
America
one.
was fine
Yeah.
with Peggy and
All right. Well, in my opinion, Spider-Man Far From Home.
are you
I
giving
also
it
have a
more
number
time? You
5,
mean?
and that is because I think there's a lot of good. I think
Mhm.
that uh mainly I think that there's some good twists. I think the villain is great.
There's
I
some
think
good
Ned is
twists.
great. Tom Holland's performance is
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
It's a fun, yeah, it's a fun movie.
Mhm.
I enjoy it mainly, but
Oh,
I've
and the Let This Be
issues
My
with it.
Destiny scene where he's trying to lift up and get the power and stuff and lift
Yeah,
that thing up, that was a great scene. That was good homage right there.
yeah. Well, I have issues with it because I have issues with almost every one of these except 3 of them, maybe 4. But so my problem is the technology that
Oh yeah, that he's
Peter
given like
gets
he's
from
not
Iron Man.
he's very
Yeah,
irresponsible with it. Number one,
he's
I
very
wish more
irresponsible with it, and I feel
irresponsible.
like Iron Man's just so involved in the Spider-Man story that it just doesn't work for me because I really don't like how Iron Man's so involved and replaces Uncle Ben. I also don't like the
That part
consequences.
didn't
I
work.
don't like the consequences and Peter's arc because he's so irresponsible,
Yeah, the
and there's
consequences.
literally no consequences to anything in this movie for his actions, which is what
None.
Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
there
yeah,
was nothing really. He had to use a homemade suit in the end to be Vulture, and
yeah,
even then, I thought that fight was really anticlimactic. It was a very
yeah.
anticlimactic end to such a great villain. They really wasted Adrian Toombs at the end. Because in the
How so?
beginning, he was built up so well. He always had this sort of like, oh, we had to work from the ground up, okay? Me and my workers, we tried to profit off the fact that there was this cool technology, but then Stark decided to take it away. And it was just, that was great. But the fact that they had to end it on such a poor note, the fight was just so disappointing. Just a
Yeah.
disappointing
Yeah,
ending.
I thought that was cool. Look, it's a fun movie. It has Spider-Man issues. I think that Iron Man ruined it a little
Yeah,
bit. I think the
Iron Man,
suit
the fact
ruins
that
it.
including Iron Man was not exactly a smart decision.
Yeah. They've
They
and
did
I
that
think the
sort of
romance is unneeded.
romance
It's
is unneeded.
underdeveloped. It's not believable.
They could have just
Um
made Liz a friend, honestly.
yeah.
If they
It's
made
not
Liz a friend and
believable.
Peter asked Liz out, but only as a friend, that would have
Or
been fine
maybe
for me. It more believable.
developed it
And
more
maybe
or
even
maybe
have
had
Liz have a crush
okay.
on him. That would have been cool. Maybe make
Yeah,
Liz
yeah,
be the
yeah.
one to have a crush and not Peter himself, and that would
Yeah,
actually maybe been more interesting instead of
yeah.
it always being Peter the one with the crush.
But I also felt that Peter wasn't very relatable, and it's a fine movie, but it's not a great movie. You know what I mean? I have
It's
issues
fine at
with.
best. I agree.
Yeah, it's a 6 out of 10 for
Almost.
me.
Yeah. I'd arguably rate it slightly higher. 7.1, 7.2. Not much better than Amazing
So good.
Spider-Man.
All right,
And now let's
number
get to
four.
the fun part of these podcasts.
Fun part.
These
Now we got
short
good Spider.
movies are so nice. All right,
Yes.
let's do it. Number 4. It's Spider-Man 3.
I hate you.
What? Come on. Okay.
Okay. Go.
I used to
Just go.
hate this one. I used to put it number 7, saying
What?
it was I used to put it at number 7 here and
You
saying
didn't hate it.
No, I said it was entertainingly a bad movie. I thought
It's
it was
not
bad, but
bad.
it was entertaining. But
It's not
after
bad.
watching it a lot and kind of thinking about it, it's actually kind of good. Almost actually brilliant.
Yes.
It's pretty close to brilliant, but
It's a masterpiece.
it's nowhere near masterpiece, and it's not great. But it's
It is a
good, and
masterpiece. It's great. It's great.
it had potential to be brilliant. It really did because
Guys, Spider-Man
they
3
had
is
solid
great.
villains.
Don't listen to
It
it.
had great themes going on. They had a lot of good symbolism with these sort of fight scenes. Everything had meaning to it, and the relationships were still very solid. You know, Harry Osborn proved to be a very good heart of the movie. He was probably the best villain. He's once again
Sandman.
all 3 actors have great chemistry. Sandman is a great good villain as well. He's welcome. He's a good addition to the movie. I like Thomas Hayden a lot in his portrayal. He's really well developed. They could have included a deleted scene involving him and his daughter a little more because that was really a driving force for him. That was a motivation for him.
I think there's enough.
He was bad, but he did it out of reason. He had reason. That is what
Yeah.
mattered about his character. Sure,
I don't think he was a bad person. He
The
just had
movie's
bad
filled
luck.
with like a few villains, but at least they were all kind of, they're kind of developed well, except for maybe Venom.
Venom was great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Venom was awesome, man. Those 10 minutes when he was on screen just killing guys and
Like when I was a kid, I was terrified of that
yeah, I was
dude, of that
terrified of Venom.
bastard. You
Now
know
I
what I mean?
watch it and I'm like, God, this is so freaking terrifying in a bad way. This is just bad. But I'll have to
Bad?
no, I'll have to admit though, I love Eddie Brock. I loved Topher Grace's portrayal. It's like
Yes.
it's almost actually kind of genius
Love
because
it. Love
Topher
it.
Grace was compared to Tobey Maguire in the sense that they both looked pretty similar. Like, have you seen Topher Grace on the poster of that '70s show? He looked pretty similar to how Maguire looked back in the '90s. So, I'd argue that it was really good casting in that sense. They really did a really good job casting the character. And
Yeah,
Topher
it's
Grace
an
even bulked
amazing
up
movie.
too. You couldn't even tell because of his
Movie's
big frame.
brilliant.
He bulked up for 6 months for this role.
Yeah,
Surprising.
well, okay. My number 4. Thank you for respecting this movie. It's the most entertaining one too. The emo scenes are brilliant.
Yeah,
You got to be honest.
I forgot about the emo scenes. One of them was pretty bad, and I think it was the street dancing because
No, the
yeah,
street dancing's genius.
Okay, it's cringy in a good way, and it makes sense.
It's not cringy. You were emo Peter Parker for Halloween,
Yeah, I was emo Peter Parker because it was a meme.
and
Okay?
so was
It
I.
became a meme, and I think the meme made that scene a lot better than it actually was. Because when people first saw it, it was a little ahead of its time. That scene.
It's a
That scene and
genius
the
scene.
jazz club
It is
scene. All of
genius.
those scenes were ahead of its time, and they were kind of genius. But the street scene, it's sort of hard to forgive. Okay, I think it's a good scene, but amongst like the public and in general, just cinema, it's like
Most people like that scene,
it's hard to
actually. I
forgive,
think
and I know a
the
lot of
only
people
people who
like it.
don't like it.
It's
I
cringy.
love it.
You're supposed to cringe at it, and it's cringy in a good way.
It's supposed to be funny. It's Sam
It's like
Raimi
the
directing.
equivalent.
That's who he
And
is.
also think about it. It's like the equivalent of that Spider-Man 2 scene with raindrops keep falling on my head.
Exactly.
It's
It's
that scene,
nothing
but
so.
instead much more dark, much more sexy. You see him ooze that sexy
Yeah,
charm
yeah,
like Eddie
yeah.
Grant, and
Yeah.
that works because Peter was never considered sexy. He was never considered cool. He never,
Yeah.
he never talked in this sort of dark. I want to shoot you sometime. He never talked in that way.
All
He
right.
talked light.
Well,
He never
good
talked
job.
dark. And overall, it's entertaining. It's really entertaining. I'd give it a 7.7 actually, or even an 8, aka 4 stars out of 5. Really entertaining. Some scenes are kind of bad and unneeded. They were still really entertaining. The final battle, really emotional, really well done. Symbolism was there. That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
How about you?
All right. Number four is Spider Verse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You rated
I'm
Spider Verse at
sorry.
number four?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Okay.
I did.
You
I
rated
love
Spider
Spider
Verse
Verse.
at
I
number
love it.
four.
I love it. Okay, I love it. I love Spider Verse. All the characters are amazing. It's the only good Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
it's fantastic. I love it. I love all the characters. Miles is such he's just relatable. He's just so sympathetic. He's so
Yeah, every sense
interesting.
of the word.
You feel sympathy for him because you really interesting relationships between him and his dad
It was an
and his
actually funny
uncle.
movie too. It was actually
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. And there were so many relationships that were just so well
Yeah.
developed,
It could have
and
been really bloated,
the
but they made it
chemistry.
really good. It could have been a really
Yeah,
bloated movie, but they actually did good
and
with it. They handled it
the
well.
chemistry is amazing.
Voice
Performances are
acting,
amazing.
really good
It's
across the
funny
board,
too.
especially from Nicolas Cage. Like he's really scene stealing in a lot of
Yep.
movies, and he
It's
really
also
nails it.
really funny.
Yeah,
It really
it's a
shows a true
genuinely
meaning of
good movie.
Spider-Man that they're I think showing many Spider-Mans is a great idea
Yeah, it
because
was.
unlike the
It's
Amazing
important.
Spider-Man 2, they showed us that only one person can be Spider-Man. In this one, anyone can be
Anyone,
Spider-Man. And
yeah,
that's the
any
best part.
universe, and it was so
Yeah.
cool how they brought it
It's
all
just
together.
such a cute movie too.
Yeah,
It has amazing twists as well, you know what I mean? And it's just an amazing
yeah,
movie
it's
from pretty
genuine.
much
It's
every
one of
aspect.
those movies you could just say is
Except
genuinely good. But what do you think?
except
What do you think is bad?
there's one thing I don't like about
Hard to
this movie.
dislike this movie, but what do you think is not good?
Okay.
Because I know some
Porky
people.
Spider-Man, number 1. Asian Spider-Man, number 2. And New Noir, Spider-Man Noir. They're just unneeded, okay? They don't
I
need to be
like
in the movie.
Noir. Okay, Nicolas Cage redeemed Noir. He could have been a way worse character if Nicolas Cage
Yeah,
wasn't
but
as
they didn't
good.
need to be in the movie. If they weren't in the
Yeah.
movie, the
Okay. Yeah.
movie
Maybe they
benefit.
weren't needed. I think they just
Yes.
did it to include
But
variety.
hey,
They wanted to
it
draw more fans
works.
in.
It works
Exactly. It
fine.
still works, but
They have such great chemistry. It's so cute and interesting and fun. And there's some really hard-packed emotional moments in this
and
one.
it has
That
really good fight scenes too. Actually,
yeah, yeah,
that are
hit
full of
perfectly.
emotion.
I think animated fighting doesn't really work
There's
for me
also a lot of
sometimes.
hidden details too. Like there's
Yeah.
really a lot of details never seen.
But
For
yeah,
example,
that's
there's
all I have to say.
foreshadowing at the beginning when he's like, "Hey," and that's like really huge
That's
because you
great. That's great. That's
yeah,
great.
it's all great
Yeah.
jokes, great
So
on-screen
final
stuff.
score, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Now let's go on.
I give it a high nine too. Really, really
Let's
good.
move on to number 3, and I'm gonna speak first on this one, okay?
Okay.
Number 3, it's Spider-Man 3. Like, what else do you think I'd put here? Like, listen, this movie is a freaking masterpiece in almost every way. Like, listen, uh, every villain is amazingly developed except for maybe Harry Osborn. Eddie Brock is
Okay,
the
the amnesia scene was
perfect
bad. The amnesia story
Eddie
was bad.
Brock is the perfect foil to Peter Parker. He is the same job, but he's an asshole. He's going for a girl that he thinks is his girlfriend, but she's not, and that was really interesting. They both want the staff job.
Yeah, they're
They're
really
just
hard.
pure opposites. You know
Yeah,
what I
they
mean?
are. They're
Just
pure
perfect foils.
opposites.
Topher Grace delivers an amazing performance here.
He
It
really
is the
does.
most entertaining Spider-Man movie by far.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
he's a
even.
lot more outgoing and he's a lot more
Yes,
confident. He's a lot more
yes, yes,
charming, and that he and Topher Grace really does a good job at exuding all that, and that's what
yes.
Peter is not.
It's the most entertaining one. It is has incredible fight scenes with a lot of emotion, comedy, wait,
Yeah,
sorry, comic relief,
yeah.
and
This was
just it
really good
looks
comedy,
yeah.
actually.
The
The editing too.
cinematography.
The end, yeah, and the cinematography. The music is so good.
Yeah. The score is absolutely
Especially
incredible.
when he opens up the
Absolutely.
red suit for one last time
I
and the
know.
music's playing the old
I know.
theme.
But
So good.
the entire movie score is
And also the
incredible.
entrance of
I
Harry Osborn as a hero.
yeah.
That was really good.
The suits look
So cheap.
awesome.
Yeah,
The black
yeah.
suit
The
looks
suit's great.
awesome.
That's true.
I think
What do
I
you
think
hate
the
though?
black suit's the best Spider-Man suit,
I know
honestly.
you've said
In
to me a
in
lot. You've hated a good amount about this movie though, even though there is a lot of great
like
parts.
look, there are issues with it, and I know that. But I love everything about it. I love all Sandman's such a sympathetic and interesting character. They
Yeah,
try
he's
to
an
connect him
interesting
to
character.
Peter.
Sympathetic is
I
tough, but
yeah.
yeah, he's
I
interesting.
he's so connected to Peter because they're both just having bad luck with their uncle and with
Both having
what
bad
Peter's
luck
about to
with their
go through.
families.
Like,
That's
look,
what I mean.
Peter's not a bad person, but like when he hits MJ and stuff, like it's just bad
That's
luck
when
with
he realizes that he's done bad things. He's committed bad actions.
exactly. And
Sandman is
it's
kind of
just
the same
and
way, you know. Sandman kind of
yeah,
does the same thing when
and the
he
movie's all
gets
about
mad.
forgiveness. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
is.
I think
People
it's an
are already
amazing
constantly
movie, but
saying it,
yeah,
but there's even
This movie is flawed.
Eddie can't forgive him
This
for doing
movie's
that.
flawed.
Eddie can't forgive the
Yeah,
fact
and
that Peter took away
Eddie's the
his
only
dream.
one. So that proves how much of the opposite he is.
Yeah,
Because 2 minutes before, like
it
or after,
saves
he
2 minutes
forgives
before.
Sandman. He
That, I
forgives
mean,
Sandman. He
yeah,
couldn't even forgive Peter though.
and that's the thing. Eddie Brock, they constantly sticked really well with that theme of him
Yes.
being an opposite. They kept him amazing at being an opposite. You know,
Yeah.
he
And I must say though that Peter 100% has an arc. It's about how they
does.
connected him to all the villains. Number one, and number two, it's how he becomes a better person. Because he's basically the opposite in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
He has nothing. He has absolutely nothing. His
his
life is
heart's
off.
broken. You know, his everything
Yeah.
going bad for him. In Spider-Man 3, stuff gets better. Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets
But like
better,
yeah, and
but not as much as the first.
when things are finally going good for Peter in Spider-Man 3, he kind of throws it all away by letting everybody down. And that's what the movie's about to me,
Hmm.
how he develops through that. And
And
that's what I
yeah,
love so much about it.
it's just the emotion
Yeah.
from Harry is just there.
So
He strengthens
let
the
me
best
recap.
performance in the trilogy with that
Let
in
me
movie.
recap a little bit.
Go
I
ahead.
love the score so much. The cinematography is
Oh,
incredible. The
absolutely.
visuals are amazing. The suits look amazing. It's the most entertaining one. The characters have amazing arcs. The
Yep,
characters are so interesting. There's
I agree.
so many things to love about this movie. The emo scenes
The
are
emo
absolutely
scenes kind of
genius.
are ahead of its time, but
Themes
I can
are
understand why a lot of
incredibly
people
genius.
can really can't forgive
Yeah.
those.
Look,
And
the
yeah,
dance scene, it's what Sam Raimi would do in a Spider-Man movie. I'm sorry, it's Sam Raimi directing because he is a corny and cheesy director, and that's what he thought was
that's what
appropriate.
made
And
Spider-Man
it
2 so
works
good. Actually,
perfectly.
that's what makes Spider-Man 2 a masterpiece in the world. But we're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
and
Spider-Man 3.
the fact that it's just I just love the emo scenes.
Yeah,
It's just Sam Raimi
they're
doing what he wants to do. And look, the movie could have been better. The movie
yeah.
could have been
That's why I put it at
uh
number 4.
the
It
movie
had
this could have
potential to be
been
brilliant.
this
It actually did have
this
potential.
yeah, this
Had
movie could have
truly,
been
truly
the
brilliant stuff.
clear-cut greatest superhero movie ever
And
made.
heck,
And
there's even
that's
a
not
director's
even
cut of it too. That's
that
really
that
good.
that is not I'm not joking one bit. If Sony had let Sam Raimi do the movie he
I
wants,
know.
this is the greatest
And
superhero
exactly,
movie
even
ever
like the
made.
director's cut, he
Yep.
released a director's cut. That was actually much better than the original movie.
I
Like so
disagree. I
much
think they're
better.
kind of the same.
Or yeah, they're
Thought
kind
they
of
were
the
kind of the
same, but
same.
there's more details
It
in
improves
there.
in some little ways, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's just the
But like
details.
with
That's
this
all it
movie,
is. It's
Sam
just the
Raimi is able
details.
to pace out all the villains so well where it's not
Yep,
confusing and give
exactly.
them human aspects to each one of them. And everything's happening one at a time. And that's what's
Hmm.
so good about it, unlike the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And look, the flaws, the flaws. Let me go into that.
There's a lot.
Harry Osborn, the amnesia subplot is dumb. I don't care what anyone says. It is dumb.
It's a bad subplot.
Because
It
yeah,
was
it's a
supposed to
bad
be
subplot.
I think it was supposed to be like kind of connected to the comics, because in the comics, Harry has that same thing when he's Hobgoblin. He gets knocked out and he gets hypnotized into uh, not being a goblin, and he gets
Yeah.
all locked up. And
Hmm.
that is what they were trying to follow
But
here, but it just isn't executed well.
yeah, and it's just not well executed. It proves how messy this movie
Yeah,
really is.
it
Next
truly
thing,
does.
I actually don't mind retconning Sandman with Uncle Ben because it doesn't change the meaning
It
of
doesn't
the
change the meaning of
story
the
of
movie.
Uncle
That's
Ben.
true. It doesn't.
Yeah,
It really doesn't.
and imagine thinking this whole time that you found the guy who killed your uncle. Now it's time
It's a
to
little out
learn
of
from him
nowhere.
and honor him.
This is
You're like, oh my
5 years.
god, I got this wrong. How does he feel
I
about
find
this?
it
I have
funny
not
though that it
fulfilled
was
his
5
legacy.
years in the future and they find this out.
Yeah,
That
and I gotta do this all for
it's
Uncle Ben. You know what I
heartbreaking.
mean?
Yeah,
And he freaking forgives the guy at the end. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's so
Eventually he does, and yeah, it's
yeah,
really
so
good.
my biggest problem with Spider-Man 3 is the amnesia subplot. It proves that this movie is kind of messy, and I think the movie being messy in itself is
Yeah.
kind of a flaw. So look, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10,
Okay,
10
that's
out of
fair.
10 on
Yeah, same,
entertainment.
same.
Look, Spider-Verse is a better movie. It's a better made movie. But
That's what.
Spider-Man 3 is almost as good of a
That's
movie
why
to
I
me,
say Spider
but
Verse is better.
much more yeah, but much more entertaining.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Spider Man
and
Three
I
was
enjoy watching it more.
really
It's the most
really
entertaining
big.
Spider-Man movie,
They
and
it
it's a
was
truly amazing
yeah.
film in my eyes. So
It
yeah,
has
it goes
it has
above
potential. It has
Spider-Verse.
flash of brilliance. And
Yeah.
my number 3 here is
So
gonna be either Spider Verse or Spider Man One. I'm gonna go with Spider Man One for my number 3 because I actually never mentioned it. Like
rip.
yeah, I never. Spider Man One is my number 3. Okay, I could see why people love this movie so much. I just think people are slightly blinded by nostalgia. This is why.
No!
I'm sorry, okay? I might be triggering Raimi fans as a Raimi fan myself.
I'm triggered right now.
Okay, Tobey Maguire
I
was
am
introduced,
triggered.
there was hesitation he wasn't going to be good. He blew people's expectations out of the water. He kills it. He's the best part about Spider-Man 1. The villain is really well done. Norman Osborn is so great. You know, okay, the costume's a little dumb and cheesy, but that's this movie. This movie's silly. It's pretty cheesy. It's pretty corny, but it's really good. Okay, it's really good. The
It's a
romance is so
masterpiece.
good. It has a lot of substance, a lot of depth, a lot of good symbolism in a lot of scenes. Raimi really shows directorial talent in this film, and yeah, I'd argue it is a film. I can call it a film, and you know, it's the whole Harry Osborn thing was really good. He was not the typical rich kid. The characters aren't stereotypes or cliches. MJ, she was the closest to a possible stereotype, but Kirsten Dunst elevates it to so much more. It's so good, all right? My only issues with that movie are it gets really a little too silly. It gets a little carried away. You know, I would argue the hospital scene,
That's
the
Sam
monologue
Raimi
is
as a, that's
the
that's
opening
Sam Raimi
monologue
as a
is so
director.
sweet. Like I know that's Sam Raimi, and the monologue in
So
the
wait,
movie is
which
so
hospital scene? Which hospital scene?
okay. The one where he's sort of talking about Superman, I was like, oh, this is just so
You're
silly.
not Superman. You know that was
It was
no
supposed
one.
to be a
I don't think
reference to
that's
the fact that
cheesy at
I
all.
think it was supposed to be a reference to the fact that Superman was the first ever superhero movie. But I was just like, yeah, it's getting a little carried away with itself. Same with a
But
little bit of
I
the
think
scenes
that
with Green
actually
Goblin.
gives.
You're out, Gobby, out of your
Look,
mind. Your
that's a
mindset's out,
genius
Gobby.
quote,
That's
though.
just
But
cheesy, and
hey, Mills. But
it's
can
getting
I
a
just
little
say?
carried away.
But in that
They
part,
never balanced
that
cheesy well
hospital
here.
scene, we learn
It was
more depth
heartfelt though.
about relationship
Yeah,
between
it
MJ
was.
and Peter before
That's
they
why I
get
think
together.
it's a little more heartfelt. I think that too. It's a
And then
really
it's
heartfelt
so
scene.
heartfelt. Then she's like, everyone knows you love MJ, and
Hmm.
because then he finds out Goblin knows
Yeah,
who
and
she
I
is,
like that
who
too.
he is.
Harry Osborn wasn't your typical rich kid, okay? He actually neglected the idea of going to a private school. He stuck public. That I
Yep.
respected. That's what immediately made me like his character because he already did something that was sort of opposing what you could classify his character as. And that's what's so brilliant about Harry Osborn in both the comics and this movie. And
Mm-hmm.
James Franco, he's good. I used to think he was the weakest link in terms of acting, but looking back on it again, he delivered a performance of similar energy to Toby, and this was Franco's first big movie, and he actually did really good. And he
Mm-hmm.
obviously did much better in 3, but he really showed really good acting, and his relationship with MJ is a really big conflict in this movie, and it's so entertaining to watch because the iconic kiss scene is so huge in terms of
Yep.
factoring into that. When they kiss in the rain, you know, the actors had a hard time filming that scene actually because of breath and lack of air, but you know, watching it,
Oh yeah.
it's so beautiful. You never notice that they're struggling. It's so beautiful. It's so
It's
iconic.
so
It's the
beautiful.
most iconic scene in this movie, and that's why I think it cements good status. My flaws with it are the CGI. It's dated, but you know,
Who
it's fine.
cares?
Yeah, who
It
cares though?
proves that
I
movies
can
don't
forgive it. Okay, I can
die.
forgive the fact that it had bad CGI, but like,
And at
it's
the end of
good.
the movie, that fight is the most
That fight is
painfully
really
looking fight
satisfying.
in the whole trilogy
Yeah,
because it
it's a
looks like they're
satisfying fight.
actually fighting. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, it actually did. It looked practical. Practical effects were huge in this movie, and it looked great. And even the emotion Tobey Maguire delivers in that scene with his eyes, it just proves how good of an actor he is. This is a movie called Brothers. I recommend you guys check out. He can act with his
Fantastic.
eyes in that movie. This movie
Fantastic.
is no exception as well. He can always act. People say that the dude only uses like a monotone voice and he talks in that same
That's
very
not
deep
true.
energy.
That's
That's
when
not
he's a
true.
non-confident
Yeah,
dude. You know what I mean?
Toby has his way of acting. It's reserved, yes, but he can use his eyes really well. He's good at using what he has to deliver a really great performance, and that is what really shows in this movie.
Yeah.
And so if I had to rate
Okay.
Spider-Man 1, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10, 4.5. It's it's great. It's a great movie. Obviously there are a few flaws, but it's great, all right? It's
I
great.
think it's at
Similar
least a
status.
9.
Yeah, maybe near 9.
But all right.
Okay, let's go number 2.
All right. Okay. My number 2, Spider-Man 1.
Oh yeah.
It's a this is a true masterpiece. Like Spider-Man 3 is a practical masterpiece. It's a masterpiece in a different way. This movie to me is kind of a masterpiece. It started the whole superhero
It
drama.
did. That's true. And it
There's
came
yeah,
after I was born, so I have more
there's
respect for it.
so much depth to the relationships. Peter Parker's so relatable. Uncle Ben is so good in
Yeah, I
this.
agree with
Just
that.
like
I
the
forgot to mention
story.
that.
it's such an amazing origin movie. And I
it has the best with great power comes great
yes,
responsibility delivery. Okay,
yes.
you
And
cannot take away from this movie.
Tobey Maguire's he's just fucking fantastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's the best Spider-Man. It's not even close if you ask me.
yeah, they've yet
Yeah.
to find someone as great as Maguire in
There's
this.
no one. There's just no one. That's just I
Yes,
grew up with
yes.
Tobey Spider-Man. So
And
like
I
of
could
course
argue too that Toby might even be the best actor period out of all the three that played him.
it's
Like you could
possible. Cuz
argue that actually.
in
He's a great
Brothers like
actor.
I didn't see
People forget that. People forget that
that.
Toby's a great actor because he was so good as
Yeah.
Spider-Man, you know? Everyone associated with
Yeah.
Spider-Man that they forgot that he can act really well. He's not one of
Yeah.
those bad iconic actors. He's one of those iconic
But
actors who's
yeah.
actually genuinely good. And yeah, Andrew
I
Garfield was an
think
Oscar nom, but like we're not
I
considering that because
the movie wasn't
we're going
successful.
for the OGs. Yeah.
But anyway, back to the movie. I think
Yeah, back to the movie.
Goblin Goblin's probably the second or third best villain
That
in a
has happened.
Spider-Man movie.
I
He's
agree.
so funny. He's just there's a really human relationship between him and Harry. Their father-son relationship being unhealthy.
And also the
Uh
thing that Norman really likes Peter a little more than
yeah.
Harry. It's so
Oh,
implied.
that Thanksgiving scene is a
The
masterpiece.
Thanksgiving scene is actually the best
Everybody
scene.
wants something in that scene. Everybody has something at stake. It's just so great in every
Yeah,
way.
and even Chris
Um
Stuckman pointed this out. He's a pretty
yeah.
popular reviewer. He points something out that's really brilliant in that scene.
And the upside down kiss scene that's iconic. When Uncle Ben dies, I cried
Yeah.
watching that.
And
It's
you
just
know
so
it
full of emotion
before
and
the
so
crying became
sad.
a meme. Like it is
Yeah,
a really
it
good scene.
shouldn't have been a meme
It
though.
should never became a meme though.
Mm,
That
I
Toby
find
that
that
scene should
amazing
never
acting.
become a meme because it is amazing acting. He actually is
Like he's
good in
so
that.
good in that one scene. And then the transition of that scene, that is
Yeah,
so
there's a great
amazing.
transition there.
Like there that I don't that might be the best transition of this trilogy. He walks away after his uncle's dead and
Walks
then he
away
goes
with
right
the
into his
suit
suit
comes
with
in.
the amazing music. And then you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and
it's just amazing.
it gets into what Spider-Man is, and I agree with that.
Like honestly, I think this movie is probably for me, I think it's a flawless movie.
It's near
It's like
flawless. I
I
agree with
think
that.
I don't care about the CGI not being
Yeah,
bad.
no.
And that's because like it's made in 2002. First of all, some slack.
Mm,
Second of all, this movie is it's doesn't need CGI
it doesn't.
to be so great. And that last scene looks so real, and that's the best
Yeah,
part
that
about
last
it.
scene was definitely
Yeah.
the best part of the
And
movie.
it's such a human story with
The
Uncle
ending
Ben
isn't
meeting.
also cliche. I forgot to add
Yeah.
that. It's really not a cliche ending because
Yeah.
it's an
And
emotional twist.
Uncle
Big
Ben
emotional
means
twist.
so much here. So much here. And that's what I appreciate so much about it,
Yeah,
just
they
how
really
much Uncle
tie
Ben means.
Uncle Ben into like a lot of the relationships.
Yeah.
They
And
really do.
there's so much emotion to every scene, especially the ending of Spider-Man 1. It's I think it's incredible. I think Spider-Man 1 easily is a 10 for me. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like I said, I thought 8.5. I might have to raise my up a little bit here. I'm gonna give it an 8.9 or 9 out of 10. I'll give it a 9. I think 9
All
out of
right,
10.
let's see your number 2.
Number 2 is Spider Verse, man. I'm sorry, I have a lot of love for this movie. I don't care about the fact that it's animated. I care about quality, and quality it delivers. As a Spider-Man movie, and yes, like I said,
Yeah.
we're rating this off the fact that it's Spider-Man and it's also good quality. It's definitely nearly the best one because it introduces
Nah.
Spider-Man from a lot of worlds. Not only that, it really
Yep.
built. It has these characters as these sympathetic, these really likable characters. They picked perfect voice actors. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
a few of them were unneeded, and maybe they wanted to draw in the audience like the anime Spider-Man or Peter Porker or
I love
something.
this one so much.
But I love it. It's great. It has
Yeah,
so
it's
much
so
hidden
good.
meaning, a lot of symbolism, a really good villain in Kingpin. Even though he is a little deadpan, yeah, he has a good motive. He has an understandable one. He has good voice acting. The fight scenes are really great in this movie. The jokes are
Yes.
really good. There's a lot of great references
Yes.
to the comics. It's a great
Yes.
homage. Great music like Sunflower from Post Malone and What's Up Danger.
Yes.
That scene in the theater, it gave me chills. It gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's
I like the song
and that is
What's Up
what I
Danger.
love. And it was also really funny.
Love What's Up Danger. That's a really good song.
Yeah, it's a great song. And for that
Like
reason,
What's Up
I give Spider Verse a
Danger.
9.5, or actually even a 10. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It's flawless for me. I didn't see too many
All right.
It's
All
a
right.
flawless movie of Spider-Man, and it's
Well,
really cool.
let's move into number one. You can say at the same time on the count.
Yep.
Okay.
One.
Three. Wait.
All
One,
right. One,
two,
three.
two, three. Sam Raimi
Spider
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. Okay, we said that
Oh
so
my god.
weirdly, but I think you
This
can agree.
movie's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's a
This is a
masterpiece.
true
Okay,
the
it has both
true
its
masterpiece.
yeah.
True masterpiece.
This is a
There's
movie
we don't
that
even
you
need
should
to talk
actually
about it for this
watch
long.
in film school. Okay, if you want to make a
Yes.
movie that's
This
about
movie should be
cheesy
watched in
and
film schools
goofball
all
and
over.
corny, this movie should be the one to be shown for film school. Okay.
It's my favorite movie ever made.
Yeah, it's literally one of the best movies. It's not one of the
It's,
best movies
it's,
ever made. It's one of the best
I think
superhero
it
movies
is one
ever
of the
made.
best movies.
It's the
I
best
mean, yeah,
superhero sequel ever made, though. That's for
yeah,
sure.
it's the best superhero movie ever made.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that too.
And the thing, okay, the most relatable story by far. There's
It
so
is.
many consequences at
There's a lot of
stake.
action. Yes, it's
Yes,
the most
we can
cinematic
both
film ever
explain.
made.
Oh, this one. Okay,
Yeah, we can't
it'll go
really.
faster
Okay, let's both explain
because
it.
we could
So,
talk for hours about this.
yeah, okay. So
Okay,
I'll do
it's
the.
such
Okay,
a
you do the.
human.
You do the explanation of the overall story, like the big picture.
Okay, the movie is so human. Sorry, it's so human because it really shows how
Yeah.
tough the life of being a superhero really is, and that's what I appreciate about it
Yep.
so incredibly much. It just feels like a real story with real characters and
Yeah,
real
it
character
actually.
emotions.
Yeah, it may seem fiction because it's superheroes, but it's nonfiction. It feels really nonfiction.
That's with what they went for and perfectly got
Yeah,
it.
they perfectly made it. Yeah.
And all the action scenes are so incredible. Like the
Yeah,
train
and
scene.
they hold up so well today.
Train scene is the best scene in the
Train scene is
trilogy.
one of the best.
That
Yeah,
takes the
it
cake
is.
for me.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's
Toby
the
Maguire. That
best
train scene
villain in
fits
any
the. It fits
as
the
well, I
tone.
think.
It fits the tone really well, and it delivers on all fronts. It really
Yeah.
does.
Alfred Molina's incredible. He's not even a bad guy. He has a relation to Peter Parker as well. That's what Sam Raimi is so good at. The movie is
He's good
so
at connecting
human.
his characters
Yes.
to
It
the
shows how
point
being a
and
superhero can
fun.
suck. How it's not just a paradise for everybody. You know what I mean? It's so amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't show them as a utopia, and I really think the side characters in this movie were a big plus. Every
Yep.
side character doesn't even like have a lot of time, and they're still really developed. Okay, like
Yeah, and
Mr.
also like
Dickovich and her
especially
daughter.
MJ.
Yeah, and MJ, but
Yeah.
Mr. Dickovich and her daughter, they both have really good scenes that involve Peter. Dickovich, this sort of guy who's
They
so
helped develop him as a
yeah, they
character.
helped make him human. And even there's a scene with Ursula, who's like the daughter of Mr. Dickovich, who is like handing him a piece of chocolate cake, and it's so simple, but it's good. It's simple and good because
It's
it's
amazing because it shows that she's the only one who's been nice to
yeah,
Peter
who's been
throughout
nice
the
to him and he's
entire
been caring
movie.
to him. Yeah, and he's been caring, and that's what that part shows. And
She's
all
the
these
only
side
caring
characters,
person besides like Aunt May.
they all have something to bring. Even Mr. Disease, the pizza guy at the beginning of the movie, he's so funny.
Oh my
He's
god, Pizza Time
he's
is in
the
this
first
movie.
one, and it inspired Pizza Time, the meme. But he's the one
Yep,
who
the
really
greatest meme.
starts those conflicts. He's like, "Big promise delivering 29-minute guarantee is a promise, man. A promise
I
is
know,
like
man.
that." And yeah, and it's
I know it's
that.
so good.
Yeah, it's what starts all the sort of badness that goes on in this movie, and not only that, it sort of hints at it too. It's a promise, Peter, and you broke it, and that's sort of this movie. Peter's breaking
Exactly,
promises
and there's
left and
so
right,
much depth
and he
to the
gets
character.
consequences for it too, involving a Bruce Campbell cameo.
Yeah, we're never gonna get a superhero
Yeah,
movie
we're never gonna get a superhero movie
as human as
or to
Spider-Man
deal with
2.
the consequences as this because yeah, even in
Yep.
like the scene where he's trying to go to MJ's play, he fails because he's doing his job as Spider-Man. It's proving how stressful it
And
is.
she blames him for it. I mean, she doesn't know,
Yeah,
but she's
she
still
doesn't
mad
know,
at
but
him.
she
It's
still
so
does. Yeah,
human. It's so interesting. You just feel
and
bad for him,
I
and
know
it's so amazing
it's so
how much you
beautiful.
sympathize with
Not
him.
only that, but
And
there's also
it's
a bunch of
so
good
human.
lessons.
It's so sad too, but it's a beautiful work of art, if
A
you
kid
ask
can
me.
really take in a lot too, even in that cheesy scene where it's like, "Whoa, how'd you do that? Eat your green vegetables."
Oh yeah,
That part, yeah, that part
started
actually,
a lot of
even though it's so
memes.
simple, it really gives lessons too. This movie is well-meaning. It proves it has a good nature as well.
Yeah, the
It's a
score
good
is amazing too.
yeah,
The cinematography is at its
very good.
finest, probably here.
Characters
Man,
are
the
all great.
transitions are incredible.
Yep.
J. Jonah Jameson is incredible
Yeah,
in all
you
three of
laugh
them.
in
You
this
got.
movie, guys. Look up
I'd like a
Spider-Man
blow
2
job,
J.
sir.
Jonah Jameson laugh, and you
I
will
know.
get maybe the
Yes.
best thing of your life there. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and a
it's
lot of people don't realize this is the movie that's from.
yeah, yeah, I know.
Because a lot of people hear that in like meme videos and like, oh, I've heard that laugh before.
Yeah,
Where is
no,
it from?
they don't
It's
know
from
it's from
Spider-Man 2.
it's from the masterpiece itself, man.
Yep, the
It's
movie's a masterpiece.
so damn
It's a
great.
work of art with real characters, human characters, with
And
shows how
don't get me
awful being a
started, man. The
superhero can
next
really be.
Endgame,
When he quits being Spider-Man, that's
yeah,
one of the
that's
most beautiful scenes ever. It
no.
shows that he's
And then
come
it
to his
starts the
breaking point.
raindrops keep falling on my
I
head,
know
which could
it
have been
shows
cringy if there was any
it's
other
not.
director doing it, but it's not. It's far
Yep.
from cringy.
Yeah,
Just
and
it
I
wasn't.
the way that even quits being Spider-Man. It's so sad. So much character
And it even
and
affects the
how
comic
bad
book.
being the of how bad it is to be a
Yeah,
superhero. And it's literally genius if you ask me. The movie is incredible. It's so human. It is amazing fight sequences, so much emotion. It's so amazing.
yeah. It really defines
Well,
the
yeah,
trilogy.
it is the best one. It is the best one. It is
Far and away.
close. I love all three of them
It
equally
even
the
has
same though.
elements of Shakespeare in it. If you guys didn't
Yep.
notice, there's a few scenes involving
I think
little Macbeth hinting and stuff, and it's
like
really
look,
good.
I love all three the same, but this is definitely the best one.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I think this is where we stop talking about Spider-Man 2 because we're getting very carried away talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah,
2.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, thank you guys for
Yeah,
watching.
thank you
This was
guys
an
for watching.
hour and 1 minutes
Yeah,
long
hour
so
one minute
far.
video. I know this is not exactly what you'd see for me, but you guys know I love movies a lot. You guys know I like acting,
Yeah.
and that's
Also,
why I wanted
Joker
to do
is a
this.
effing masterpiece.
Yep,
Go see it.
Joker. If you haven't yet, Walking Phoenix will make you tear up. You will
It's the greatest performance in
yeah,
cinematic.
a greatest
I'm
performance
not
in of the
exaggerating.
decade, almost.
Like, there's no performance better than that. There's no way there's a performance better than that. And also the story, the movie's just
Yeah.
amazing. The story,
Anyways,
the
yeah.
emotion, and the stakes, and the
Thank you for your
tone,
honorable
and the
mentions,
themes, and
Joker.
the score, and the cinematography. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it does borrow a lot from King of Comedy, but it's still really good.
It's a much better movie than King of Comedy.
And I'm gonna head
Sorry.
off, guys. Now I'm gonna see you later.
Yeah.
Great
Well, I'll
talking to
see
all
you
of you.
guys later. Thank
Yeah,
you, Fire,
no
watching this,
problem, man.
doing this for an
So
hour.
fun, so fun. I enjoy talking about Spider-Man movies right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was great.
This is the definitive Spider-Man ranking. This is correct. My
Yeah.
list. Some of his
My
lists,
final list,
you
guys,
gotta
we're not
switch one
seeing
or
more of
two.
these
But
videos unless I meet Toby Maguire one day.
oh yeah,
Which I will probably not, but if I do, I'll tell you guys. I'll see y'all
I'll
later.
freak
Hope
out.
everyone has a
Yeah.
great day.
Hey guys,
Peace!
bye.